and this is my December wrap-up. So I had a really good reading month in December. I ended up reading 13 books, I think, and 4 graphic novels, so I'm really happy with that. And I managed to actually finish, so I read 100 books in the year of 2014, which I am really happy about. I was thinking about maybe trying it again this year, but no, I'm not sure. So I put my reading goal to 80 books to begin with, and I hope that I will be able to do that. But yes, I have a lot of books to show you, so I'm gonna start off. The first book that I finished I don't have with me because I borrowed it from the library, and that is Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first part in a series called The Reckoners. I really like the concept of this book. Like, this is a book where we have epics, which are basically evil superheroes. And I really love the concept of the epics, like all the facts and things that we get about them, I'm really interested in. But just, I did not care about any of the characters. Like, this was a 400-page long book, and even at the end I was just like, I don't care at all. So yeah, I only ended up giving this 3 stars. Yeah, I'm not giving up on Brandon Sanderson because I still have the Mistborn trilogy to read, and I read like 150 pages of the first book, and then I put it down because I didn't have time for it, and I was really attached to those characters at that point, so I still have hopes, but not for the Reckoner series. I ended up giving this book 3 stars. The next book that I read is a really huge book. It's called Inside HBO's Game of Thrones, seasons 1 and 2. So this is basically what's it called in English? They're basically just talking about how they did the series and like how they did the costumes and the sets and stuff like that. And it's such a gorgeous book. Like, just look at it. It has a wonderful layout, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's basically like these tapestries here on the front, and they're just so gorgeous. I love how this book looks. It's absolutely beautiful. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I would have liked it to be longer, honestly. I feel like there were so many more things that they could have told us, but I know that they have one of these for seasons 3 and 4 as well. At least I think they do. I might just imagine it. But I'm thinking about buying that too because I really like this one and I would like the next one. Then I used my Kindle to read Amy and Roger's A Detour by Morgan Madsen. And it was really great. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was so good. It's just like a feel-good contemporary thing. Then I read The Merciless by Daniel Vega. This is a horror book and I really liked it for the most part. The thing is that there is this point in the book where the book could have ended, and then it just went on for 40 more pages, and those 40 pages I did not like, so that brought this book down from a 5-star to a 4-star book for me. I guess that if you're sensitive toward gore and stuff, you probably shouldn't read this book, but I thought it was really good, and I was just impressed with the main character, because we all know that from like horror movies and etc. The characters usually act really stupid, like they make such stupid decisions. And this character doesn't do that. She's really awesome in that department. Also, I like the intersectionality point of this. Like, there are a lot of characters of different races, and that's good. Then I read Quintana of Charin. This book is so good. This is the 3rd and final book in the Lumitere Chronicles. I ended up giving it 5 stars, and like, this book is more than 500 pages, and I read it in like less than 3 days, I think. I don't remember because it was a few weeks ago. But this book was so good. Like, in general, the Lumitere Chronicles, I love the first book. I love the second book more than the first, and I love this one most of all. They are just so good, and I'm just so, the characters are just so good. Like, they are all likable, but they are all flawed. There are no Mary Stews or Gary Stews in this. They are just their own personalities and their own characters, and I may have cried a couple of times, and it was so good. Guys, please read this. If you like fantasy, please read this. I know that, like, the first chapter of Finnegan of the Rock, the first book, it can be a little bit confusing. It was to me, like, before I, like, got around to like how the world was built up. But after that it gets so good. I'm just, oh, this is such a good book. Please read this series. Then along came the Cramathon, and I was going to do like a Cramathon wrap up because I did a TBR, but I just ended up not doing it, so I'm just gonna pull up those books now. So for the graphic novels that I read a lot of graphic novels. Yeah, I read 4 of them. First off, I read Fables, volumes 2 and 3, Animal Farm and Storybook Love. Really like them. I really like the Fable series. They are written by Bill Willingham, and there are also 2 other names, Mark Buckingham and Steve Leialoha. I think that they are illustrators. Not sure, but anyway, Fables. I really like Fables, I realized, and there are a lot of volumes, and my library has them all, so I don't have to buy them. Graphic novels are so expensive, and there are usually so many of them, and they're so expensive, and it's like, no. So I'm really happy that my library has them, so I'm just gonna borrow them all and read them, probably in the next few months. Then I read Anya's Ghost by Vera Brosgol. This was really interesting. I really like the artwork, like it's in this grayscale thing. And at first it was really cute, and then it became kind of horror-y, and I really liked that transition, so really happy with it. I think that it ended a little bit too quickly, maybe, a little bit, but I do recommend this, I really do. Then I finally got to read Saga Volume 1, written by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Fiona Staples. This is definitely my favorite graphic novel that I read this month. It was really good. The artwork is gorgeous. This is sci-fi. It kind of has fantasy elements in it, but I guess sci-fi is the correct thing, the correct genre. That's what it's called. And this is about, like, there are 2 warring, I want to say nations, but that's wrong, because there's this woman who's from a planet, and there's this man that's from the moon, and they fall in love and they have a baby, and pretty much everyone is hunting them because that's illegal. Really good. It's really good, guys. I just want to warn you that this is very much not safe for work, both in the nudity apartment and in the poor apartment. So yeah, just so you're aware of that if you have problems with it. Next up, I read books 2 and 3 of the Swedish Wren trilogy. I have mentioned this so many times, but yeah, this doesn't have an English release and stuff. This book is called The Secret of the Towers. This book is called The Gate of Eternity. Ended up giving this 3 stars and this 3 stars. I gave the first book 4 stars, I think, but these were not as good, unfortunately, so yeah. If you are Swedish, I do recommend these for readathons, however, because the font is huge. Then I picked up my Kindle again, this time to read a novella called Mitosis by Brandon Sanderson. This is a Reckoner's novella, and I basically read it to figure out if I wanted to continue with the series or not, but after reading it, I just still don't have any motivation at all to continue with it. Ended up giving the novella 2 stars. Sure, it was okay, but it was short and I still did not care about the characters, so yeah, that's that. Then I read The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. This book was amazing. It was such a just feel-good book and just had all these pointers about life, and this book was actually really amazing. I gave it 5 stars without a doubt. It's 200 pages long, took me 3 hours to read. It's so good, it's so good. It's about this man called Eddie. He's 83, I think. Yeah, his 83rd birthday. He dies in an accident when he tries to save a little girl, and he comes to heaven, or basically this little place before heaven, sort of, where he gets to meet 5 people who have changed his life in some way. 5 people who made his life like it became. Such a good book. Such a good book. The next book I read was Two Boys Kissing by David Levithan. I have not read any David Letterman books before this one, so when I saw it at the library I was just like, yeah, why not, sure. And this is basically about a couple of gay teenagers and their lives, pretty much. They don't all know each other, some do, but some are just strangers. And it's like the main focus, I guess, is these two boys trying to break the world record for the longest kiss. And yes, I don't know how much to talk about it without spoiling anything, but yeah, I like this book. I gave it 4 stars. I do wish, however, that there would have been more female characters because they were very, very few. And I mean, this is mainly about just boys. There are gay boys and stuff. But I wish we could have had like some gay girls or maybe like a little mixture of stuff. They have a trans character which is really good, but still. Next up, I read Some 40 Tales from the Afterlife by David Eagleman. This book is super short. It's like 150 pages about it, my edition, and it has 40 stories in it, as I said, so they are like just 2 or 3 pages each. They are really short, and they are pretty much all of them are really good. It's just like different imaginings of what might happen in the afterlife. Like, oh yeah, there is a heaven and everyone goes to heaven and people think it sucks because like they don't have anything to complain about. Or, for example, they have this one imagining where we're like, yeah, we're like the background people in people's dreams. That's what we do. And stuff. So, yes, I recommend this for readathons especially because it's super short and it's actually really interesting. I gave it 4 stars, I think. No, I gave it 5 stars. A 5-star book. Then I finally got to read For a Divergent Collection by Veronica Roth. I really, really like the Divergent trilogy. Like, it's probably one of my favorite young adult trilogies in general. And I had not read this book yet because I couldn't find it in like the same edition as I had all my other Divergent books, so I didn't want to buy it until that comes out, and it still doesn't come out until like half a year from now or something like that, so I borrowed it from the library. This is a collection of novellas about 4, which is one of the characters from the Divergent series. I really like this book. I think I gave it 4 stars. Yes, I gave it 4 stars. I just can't remember how many stars I give books. I really liked it. There was one novella called The Traitor that I just felt was kind of slow, but the other ones were really good. It's nice to get like a look back into this universe. So the last 3 books that I read is a trilogy. That is the Selection trilogy by Kiera Cass. I really, really love this. I gave the first book 5 stars, the second 4 stars, and the third 5 stars again. Because I just felt like the second book was a little bit slower than the first one. I just didn't get quite as interested when reading that one as I did the others. But overall, I really love this trilogy. And that was kind of not really what I was expecting, because mostly from what I heard from people is that like they like it, they think it's a fun thing, but it's not their favorite or anything. But I loved it so much. I really did. We have a love triangle, which I was really nervous about, but it wasn't that bad actually. A thing you should probably know about me, I don't like love triangles at all. I really, really don't. So I was kind of nervous about this, but the love triangle never got like as bad as I thought it would be. Like at some points it really irked me, but mostly I was okay with it. So yeah. I'm gonna show you these covers individually because they are just so gorgeous covers to these books. The first book is The Selection, the second is The Elite, and the third is The One. This is probably my favorite cover. I just really like the white color and the silver, and everything about this cover is just so gorgeous, don't you think? So those were all the books that I read in December. Whew, a lot of books, but now I've gone through them all, so now I'm gonna try and take a thumbnail. Wish me luck, and I will see you next time. Bye!